right, folks, we'll jump right in. We'll go to Steve Goff first. Steve, go ahead, man.
Hey, Russ, thanks for your time.
Yep. How you doing, Steve?
Good, good. Hey, so how would you describe what people are going to see in this team with Hernan as the coach and a couple new players? What do you think it's gonna look like?
Yeah, I think it'll be something new. Obviously, it's been a process. I think there's been progression each preseason game, step by step. But I think, just in general speaking, I think it's a high energy, pressing, attacking style football. Obviously, winning the ball, looking forward vertically, to the unbalanced opponents, trying to see if we can gain an advantage that way, and then also defensively, just a lot of actions. It takes time to build that, collectiveness within the group, because it is a lot of effort from all 11 players. But I think it's exciting once that refines itself and can take shape. It'll be really a cool style of play to see and identify ourselves with as well.
We'll go to Jason Anderson next. Jason.
Hi, Russell. Good to talk to you again. I hope you're doing
Hey, Jason.
well. My question from watching a couple of these preseason games, the game against NYCFC included, it seems like you have maybe a little more leeway to jump up and join the attack. It's not just the guys, the front three, or not even just the wingback. It seemed like you were getting up there as well. Is that something really built into the system, or are you maybe allowed to freelance, for lack of a better word, on your own?
That's a good question. I'd say it's more built into the system. Obviously, if we're playing with two center mids, there's a lot of ground to cover. So it's a lot of work on my end. But that's part of, the player I am, covering a lot of distance, being very active on the defending side, and then also providing that energy to support the attack as well. So when we go forward, that if the ball turns over, that we're there to win the ball back. But yeah, it definitely, I find myself in a little higher up positions, but that is based on our pressing style play that we want, because you're gonna have to really step up as a team. You can't have each line behind. You have to really support. My job is to support the top three guys working hard behind the ball, and then obviously the back line supporting me and whoever's playing in the middle.
We'll go to Andy with the Washington Times.
Hey, Ross, thanks for the time. You mentioned that progress in each preseason match. I mean, when you look at those from maybe the first to the last, what was the biggest stride made as a team in this new system?
I think the timing of when we press as a team, when not. Also, a lot of the principles. There's a lot of principles that are being thrown at us. The first game you have a lot of players, thinking about every single detail, and it doesn't come off naturally as much. As we progress through each game, Philadelphia and then New York and then the Red Bull game, there was a clear progression. Not the full 90 minutes, but just certain segments of the game where we're doing it in a natural state without having to think about okay, where am I out on the field? Am I pressing here? Am I looking forward? Am I covering the space? Like all those things, there's an adjustment that need to be made, and they'll continue to build here. Like I said, as we go through the first part of the season, but that was an exciting step from the team to see.
We'll go back to Steve Goff.
Russ, what are your initial impressions of Nigel, the forward who came in from the Bulgarian league? Just your thoughts on him.
Yeah, first of all, he's a unbelievable guy, really nice guy. I tried to have a conversation with him the first time I saw him in the locker room, and I had a great impression outside the field. Moving on to the field, you can tell he's an explosive player, really vertical player who I think can fit well into this system. I haven't seen too much. We've it's just been short, couple of training sessions this week, but I think he has a good feel where he's at on the field defensively, and then obviously with the attacking piece. Very technical player and vertical who can hopefully get into space in good positions to have chances for us.
We'll go to Mario Amaya. Mario.
Hey, Russ. So this is a two-part question. So the first part of the question is, how do you? This was also asked to Chris earlier in the press conference. How do you feel to be able to play in front of fans once again after not being able to for the majority of last year? And the second part, how have you personally been able to understand the new head coach's new playing style, and how have you adjusted to it?
Yeah, so part one of the question, it's unbelievable to have the fans back. There's a certain intensity that you're able to get from having them in the stadium, especially our home fans, having them support us. But also the fans, I think Gressel had a tweet I thought was funny the other day about the away fans at Red Bull in the preseason friendly. Just having them going against you is another piece as well there that makes you want to go out and beat the opponent. So it's super exciting. I'm excited to have the 25% capacity at Audi Field this weekend, and seeing the faces back in the stadium. Because ultimately, those are the people we want to work hard for and go out and give our best effort for. Second question was regarding Hernan. Can you ask that again, just so I make sure I answer it correctly?
Sure, no problem. So the second question is, how have you been able to adapt to Hernan's new playing style?
Yeah. For me personally, I've really enjoyed the process. Hernan's come in and tried to change a lot. There's, like I said earlier, I think in regards to Steve's question, there's been a lot of principles and ideas thrown at us that have been, it's been a lot. You have to really be focused in on every single training session and try to soak it in, but still play with a natural ability. But for me, I've really enjoyed it. I enjoy the pressing style. That's what I grew up playing overseas at Hoffenheim. We've always had that, that pressing style defensively, and then look vertical as soon as you win the ball. So I'm enjoying the process. I think it's an exciting style of play that you can always go into every single game with a chance to perform and take away 3 points. So.
We'll go back to Andy. Andy, go ahead.
Hey, just wanted to follow up. You mentioned how it hasn't always been like a full 90-minute thing for like the style of play. It hasn't always been fluid for 90 minutes. I mean, what needs to happen for it to be 90 minutes? Is that just kind of a matter of time before it comes? Because you guys haven't had that much time in the system.
Yeah, I think there's two parts to it. I think one part is obviously the fitness component. I mean, we're coming off off season. I trained daily in the off season, and still coming in after that time, getting back into group fitness, it takes a little bit of time. So that just getting game fitness, that will help with playing at that high intensity over 90 minutes, but also then finding the balance of when we don't go, because we're not going to go 90 minutes, right? You have to find balances where you get behind the ball, get compact, and then really find the shape to then go out and press again. So I think those two key things will then allow us to establish a good, fluid transition of that pressing style through the game.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Russ, there's two questions that have come in from media members who aren't able to be on. First question for you. What do we need to do as a team to be successful against New York City?
Yeah, I think literally going off that piece we just talked about, finding the balance. I mean, we know the fitness levels aren't there yet. This is the first 90-minute game for some players. On top of that, you have the first game of the season, which brings another level of intensity. So it's finding the right moments, finding the right balance of when to press, when to get behind the ball, have a compact shape, and then get out again. But I think, we have to believe in Hernan's system, in the style that we're going to play, because especially against a team like New York City, you can catch them off guards. They're true to their system of play, which is, playing out of the back. It's the city style, and those are the teams that, we need to punish playing that way.
Last question, Russ. How important is a good result on opening day?
It's super important. I mean, we have the fans coming back in the stadium. We want to be able to, obviously that's been a long break, over a year now. If we can send them home with 3 points, that's something that will feel special, I think, for the whole club. So super important. We want to go out and start the season off to a good foot. Or start the season off on a good foot, and 3 points is a definite for that feeling.
Awesome, Russ. Thanks for the time, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Take care.